So that is going live. And let's go over to our page, which is here. Here we are. Okay, today is February 17th, right? Yeah, February 17th. Oh, I gotta do some work tomorrow. He has a DS2 speedrunner. He was a DS2 speedrunner. Cool. You know, it's like game players come from all walks in life, all styles, all everything. And we really are a very diverse group. I just wish that we were kinder to each other in those groups, because sometimes we can be quite no, but we're not gonna do that here. We're gonna do our best to keep from that. So Savvy Otter, I'm looking on Discord. Did you get a air fryer? You have seen Dr. K on YouTube. Yes. He's a Harvard psychiatrist who helps gamers with mental health. Yeah, I think that you're talking about the guy that Thor has done a couple interviews with. I do follow him. You know, yeah, yeah. Dr. K. I've watched a couple of his things. Yeah. Before we move into game dev, did you have a chance to look at the Longboat Prostic what? And questions. Let me see what you're talking about real quick. Oh, questions. I have not had a chance to look at it. No. So, I did. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. I've had an air fryer for a long time. I really enjoy them. Yeah. Especially, I mean, if you use them in combination, like if you're in a rush, it does a great job. The air fryers do a great job. However, you can take food and microwave it and then put it in the air fryer if you're really, really in a hurry. Oh, by the way, your joy, I posted a link in the online version of Impossible. Oh, really? Awesome. Possible Mission. I used to love that game. Let's see if we can take a look. Let's see, visit the site. Let's see what it says. Loading in 2,000 minutes. If it's the game I'm thinking about, which is the very Escher one, then yes. Wow, this is pretty old. Yeah. Let's see. Oh wow, it's actually playable. I don't think this is the one that I was thinking of. Because the one I was thinking of was, if you've ever seen an Escher painting or an Escher drawing, you can't tell in what dimension everything is. So this may not be the one that I'm thinking of. I'll have to look up the other one, but yeah, I'll play this. I'll play through this and see how it goes. Thank you for the link. It's awesome. Rhetoric. Yep. Okay, I've been in voice chats with people from all walks of life, from cashiers to engineers to people who've done jail time. Okay. Is there a question with that, or is it just a statement? No problem. I used to play this game on the C64. Yeah, I'll play it. What is this one? Apparently I missed one here. The Shoe Body Bop. Okay, I'll have to look at that later. I'm not gonna listen to that online. So nothing else over here. Okay, let's get back to where we were. So, like I was saying earlier, is in game development, there's all kinds of things, like also like ads and stuff like that. No question, just saying how gamers come from everywhere. Oh yeah, I mean, if you looked at my background, you'd go, "Oh my god, I was a plumber for 9 years. I was a horrible person under the age of 18. I mean, just terrible, and would hang around with the worst people that you can imagine. But also called them friends, and it was the 70s, so everything just happened. But the majority of the people I knew in high school either died of drug overdoses or were killed by each other. So it was interesting where we all come from. The question is, from that time till now, have we grown and have we learned anything? That's the most important part. And I've been very open about my past and my childhood and stuff like that. There were not a lot of hugs. It didn't work that way. Yeah. It's not a wild lore drop. It's stuff that I've talked about before. But does not affect my ability to make games. Does not affect my love for making games in any way, shape, or form. It's just how I was raised. I was raised horribly. And as I said on this here in the past, you can change your world by changing your mind. Back then, I got to a point where I changed my mind and I wasn't going to be that anymore. And did it. Said, okay, yeah, I'm not that person anymore. And then decided what kind of person I wanted to be and went and did that, became that person. So it is all good. But as I was saying, is in gameplay, there's a lot of things you do. And I showed some of this at the beginning of the show here. And I'm going to show some more again. But I really liked, and I know that I'm probably going to upset her to no end. However, I really like, where to go? It is After Effects is what I want. I really like the fact that, close the logo's in the way. Okay. This is so funny because sometimes it shows the picture, sometimes it doesn't. So I need to change something in this display to this one. Is that the correct one? Nope. This one. Yep, that one. So sometimes it's seriously just about doing goofy things sometimes. Like, so setting up the animations for these guys is when we start to get into our game and things like that, we're going to get to the point to where we're going to have to animate stuff. We're going to have to make some cool things, and that's just all there is to it. So, like in this particular case, it's just a very simple back and forth. God, how do I close this thing again? I forget. I always leave them open. I screw everything up. But yay. Okay. So just making them hop across, it's a very simple algorithm for them to be stepping through, but it's also very silly. But that's part of the fun of making games, is you can be silly and you could make really, really cool things, and we also have like my pterodactyl thing, which you can't see on here. However, if we turn on this, it's just basically a little pterodactyl thing. But yeah, you just go and you throw them together real quick and you're done with them. Okay, you're good. And we also have, I was working on a rock and roll racing one because you guys wanted a rock and roll racing one. So this one's kind of silly. Let me see if I can play it. So it's just like that. So I'm working on them and coming up with different things. And here's the boat one that I was talking about. So they'll be sailing back and forth. And then the Viking attack. There's several different versions of the Viking attack, but then our stop sign. Yeah. So you need to learn the tools for making different things so that when you come up with stuff, you can go, oh, that's kind of cool. And then you can go and add to it and come up with different ideas for it. But then you can go and just make them out, If we go and let me see what the other one was here. The eye roll, which I went through a little bit ago. So let's pull the eye roll up. Is the cool part about the eye roll is it's completely modular. So we can, let's go to where his eyes are open, but I can grab his eyes together. Let me grab the little dot and move his eyes anywhere, which now for any of our characters in the games that we work on and stuff like that, we can go and create eye movements for them and then either superimpose them or use them as a separate sprite on them or just build it into them. And you are doing good. So God, ads just keep coming up. But this was a nice little technique where everything's kind of locked in together. It also has a blink animation, so that it actually blinks. So it blinks at the beginning and ends, and those are done separately. But everything's on a box. So like if I wanted to move everything around to match it up to a character in the box, then you could do that. You know, so it's a lot of fun, and it's a good little thing to learn. So yeah, so in my first attempt, which I first started, it was just this, and I was doing everything with keyframes, and I just didn't like it. It just looked too. God, I hate to use the word because I actually like them, but it looked a little too Muppety to me than the other one. I like the other one better because it just looks like, okay, that's something that can be used later for something else, you know. So now we have that rig and we have that tool for when we do things later. But the emotes are fun too. As I said, when Savvy Otter sent them to me, I think it was Friday night or Saturday, first thing I wrote back is, I want to stop and play with these. You know, they were really, really cool. They made me giggle pretty hard. You know, so, and then even the dad jokes, when I set up the dad jokes, I'm showing you that because it's developer type thing. Let me see if I can get this up there. So here's our dad jokes, but what they are is they're an expression. So if we go to our text thing, I went to the wrong one. All of our dad jokes are in an expression that builds the dad jokes out. So that's basically what it is. I put it on 24 frames a second. And basically, if you look close enough, it's the dad joke on one page, then the answer, and then a blank page, which I put a blank page in because I wanted a spot where we can stop without having something on the screen. And then all this does is it goes frame by frame and adds the jokes in. So, and I do the same thing with the timer for other things that I work on, like our opening pages and stuff like that, where it has the date on it, things like that. I would like to share 2 games from, let's see what it says here. When did you work at Blizzard? I worked at Blizzard from 1991 to 2014. Mm-hmm. I was not part officially of the WoW team because the work that I did was mostly for every game, not for just one game. I would like to share 2 games from a person I recently discovered called Major. They are called Pineapple on Pizza, and the one who pulls out a sword will be called King. These 2 games are both free on Steam, and they are one of the most simple and silly games I have ever seen, but yet they are such silliness and extreme simplicity. They are somehow able to trigger strong emotions in me, at least, and it opened my eyes a bit to you really can just make anything into a game. You can make anything into a game, absolutely. Anything in your life can be made into a game. You know, the trick is to hit the emotions, to help the character hit the emotions you want them to hit. Yeah, so for the dad jokes, this is how I set them up, you know. And I know you're going to be surprised, but yes, there is a spreadsheet involved. I'm sorry to say. I know a lot of people go, oh my God, Jerry Ray's not using a spreadsheet. Well, guess what? He actually is, because he's crazy. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull this up. So yeah, there is a spreadsheet that builds that that particular case, that particular thing. I know you're going to be surprised. See if I can make this a little bit more visible. Because getting the jokes is one thing. meaning the actual jokes, typing them out or doing whatever you want to do. But then you have to format them into something that works. How many dad? Right now, the count is, oh God, I have to look. How many dad jokes do I have in the queue right now? Let me look. I have 376 of them right now. However, you have to remember, we do 20 a day. So we need 100 a week. So I have a system for sorting and marking the ones that we've already done. Sometimes it fails, but it does do that. But for the formatting of them to make them into something that's usable, like if we look at the ones for today, right? I think these are the ones for today, are they? Oh, no, these are the ones for yesterday or for Friday. But I will show you how they're set up here real quick. Let me get this. Yeah, we do 100 a week because it's 20 a day, 20 jokes a day. That takes up a lot, you know. So when we get them in the system, let me go to here. So when I put them in the system, they're put in this way so that you can, oh God, too big. Make this a little bit smaller. So we have the dad joke and then the answer. So it moves from left to right. We have the dad joke, then the answer. So what's a moth's favorite stroke? The butterfly. These are ones from Friday. So then it goes into, and then we break it down into, okay, now we got to put it into the separate screens, you know, but it doesn't have the quotes and stuff on it that we need for the expression in After Effects. So then we have the quotes and all that, and then we do a concatenate. So here's the concatenate. We concatenate those together into this string here, which is what we put into, we grab that, and then we go back to our After Effects file. This one. And that's what goes in there. So this is copied into here, which then makes our screens, which work out pretty well. So then we have them in the system, and then it can, we always have them, and we can step through them inside After Effects because we render them out as PNGs. I didn't realize that those ones were too long, though. I'll have to keep that in mind next time or when it does. But it puts one line each on each page, which just is a quick render out. So yeah, we could do a thing where the community submits them, because 100 a week is a lot to go and dig out. In fact, as I'm digging through them, I have to go, oh, we did that one. Oh, wait, we did that one. We did that one. No, that one we did too. You know, there's also just variations and stuff like that. So finding them is a little bit difficulty, but using this expression works for all kinds of things. Like if we're looking at, if we go to, let me see if I can pull this up. If we go to our thumbnails, which is a huge thing, which is about our pages that are our title screens and stuff like that. There's several things that are expressions that you can do as an expression. So if we come down here, we can go into this text layer, and this text, can you see it? You cannot. Okay, let me pull this up. So if we talk about this text layer, it has the same kind of setup where all of the dates are expressions that are part of an expression that puts a date on each screen, so that the date at the top of the screen up here is always correct. And then there's a couple things in there that I just have to do manually, which is there's three things on here that I have to do manually. Is I have to make sure that that's still in there. We have to make sure that the code in there is still correct, and just making sure that those are the games that we're playing and stuff like that. But yeah, you can do a lot of different things with it. And then you also have the same thing for the live screen. Then you also have the game dev one, which is all the dates for that are also a expression, which are, okay, it keeps track of the weeks and the days and all that stuff. And we're fine out to things. And this goes on the game dev the game dev playlist. This is the title screens for the game dev playlist. And because of this, we have it's just one line and it does all the dates. Oops, don't move that. So yay. But it just makes your life a little bit easier, and it's things that you should try out. Now let's go back to our we are actually still there. Okay, we are here. So I want to show you, I was able to get to tutorial 33. That's how far we've gotten on it. So let me open up where the game stands where my training stands right now. It's not our game. Our game will be moving into it quite soon. So we're going to start using it. Yeah, it's trying to make it easier for me to take care of all this stuff. So let's go to game capture. Give it a second, see if it pulls up the right thing. And it does not. So we need to assign it better. Okay. Because we're Toby 34, because we are 34. I am 34 episodes into the training, and this is basically going to end up being our base. Of course, we're going to change all the artwork and stuff like that. But, oh wow, I picked up my controller. That's funny. I picked up the controller to play the game. That's a good sign. So we got a lot of things in here. As you can see, we have hearts up there. So now we have life and things like that. So we are moving quite well. We also have drops now. So if we hit some of these eventually, coins will drop and we can collect coins. We have a system for picking things up and throwing them. We have a system for communication where we can say, oh, okay, I have to fix some things. Hello there. You look like a brave adventurer with that cape and all. Could you find my hat? And I say, of course we can find your hat. Let's find your hat. Thanks. I think I left it to the north. So we can go over to where the hat is. We can pick up hats. So we can do quests now. We do have monster capabilities now too. There's a monster. We'll kill him. Or he will kill us, whichever. Okay, so we do have the capability to kill monsters, and it does affect our health. We do have the process in now for doing quests, which will help us in our mock-ups and stuff like that. So we can go, oh, here's your hat. You found my hat. Oh, you're a hero indeed. Blah, blah, blah. Now he has his hat on. But yeah, so all what the training's doing is it's showing me how to do the basics of everything. We have a talking system. We have a picking up system. We have a drop system. We have a fighting system. We have all those things in there that we can add to later are in there. And I'm actually feel like I'm making progress with it now to where we'll be able to start building our stuff soon. In fact, I'll probably work on this today. We'll start building out our town a little bit more, which we started doing the other day, as you can see up here. You know, in 2 weekends. There's a tutorial, Devil King. There's a tutorial set that I put in our Discord that I'm going through. It's a 51-part tutorial. I'm on 34. The way I do things, like learning and stuff like that, is a little bit odd for most people because I do things at high speed. So the couple weekends back, I took all 51 episodes and listened to them high speed with music behind them. Now, as I'm doing them, the tutorials themselves, I'm still listening to them at double speed. The thing that slows me down is I have to stop and type in all the code as he's talking about it. The tutorials are really, really good. And the person that does them, Sarah now is her name, is a really, I think is a really, really good teacher. The problem with the tutorials though, isn't Sarah's problem. It's the fact that the tutorial's 4 years old And Game Maker has changed quite a bit. And halfway through the tutorials, Sarah recognizes that this is a problem and shows you how to correct a lot of things that you've done before. So you are fixing stuff all the time. And there's a couple times where it's just like, okay, this isn't working, got to figure it out. And there's been a lot of help with that. For a man who never streamed and had no idea how anything Twitch related worked, you have come a long way. I'm learning, you know. Well, the thing is my passion for making games drives me like there's no tomorrow, and I will stop and I will learn. Now, there's shortcuts I could have taken, but I didn't want to because I want to know that if something goes wrong, I can fix it. And if I don't know how to fix it, if I have to call for help every time something hiccups, then I shouldn't be doing that. But the tutorial is really, really good. I really like it. I really like the style it's in. Because as I was saying, my goal is finish the tutorial, and that will give us a base piece of code that we can say, okay, here's our master. We can then take that and copy it into a new directory, work on the new one for ideas that we have and try different things. Then we can, anytime we come up with another idea, we just copy the master into a new directory, name it the new name for the new game we're working on, and we can go in. We have everything already built in there. We already have a base engine for ideas, you know, and even if, and I've said this before, even if the game that we're working on will not end up in this format, it's still a really good way to run through your game and make sure that the ideas you have work, that the storylines that you've put together work, all that kind of thing, before you say, okay, I'm going to now go to Unity. Okay, I'm going to now go to this engine. I'm now going to go, it's now going to be a 3D game, you know. All of those things can be decided later. Figure out what the game's going to be first. You know, figure out what in even this, we haven't picked a world yet. We haven't done anything. So if we go back to our recent, God, I haven't even worked on this one because I've been doing the tutorials for everything. But if we go back into, let me pull that back up. Open. We want no, we don't want to save that. We want to open something new. We want to open Toby the First. Is the one? Let's see. Yes. Okay, let me pull this up. So if you guys remember where we were a couple weeks back when I first started the tutorials, because it's been a couple weeks now, sorry. You know, I wish that it was longer. I wish that I could learn faster. How about that? That's a good way to put it. So let me pull this up. So if we look at our old one, so we will go back now. In fact, like I said, I think that the build that we have now, aside from the fact that we're still using their tile set, which I'm not completely happy about, but I will put, one of the things that when we talked about putting credits up at the beginning of the show, I will put credits in there, and hopefully they won't get upset with us because we're using their tile set. Because that's what the tutorial uses, and it has everything there. So I'm just like, please don't get mad, you know. So we'll see. If they do, then I will spend a couple of nights redrawing the whole tile set into something else. Writing the dialogue. Oh yeah, we now have a dialogue system, which is really cool. So I learned how to do continuity in dialogue and stuff like that, and how to map out the cases so that all the answers can be good. Every engine, or whether it's 2D or 3D, has its own syntax. Yes. So you can't just move one piece. No, you can't. I'm not saying you move one piece to the other like that. I'm saying it's about making sure that your structure and your story and all that is viable before you go into the higher money engines that are out there that you probably have to pay quite a sum for to use sometimes. You need to make before you choose an engine. It's whether it's 2D or 3D is a choice you need to make before you choose an engine. I'm agreeing with you. Once you have your choices of that engine, you're locked in. Absolutely. That's why if we have something like this where we can test our story, we can test all of our stuff, then we know everything works before we go into those more advanced engines. Oh, well, welcome back, Davy's Art Corner. I am agreeing with you, Sparta. Yes, this is how you test first and how you can see if an idea is viable before you spend a lot of money on it. So, because so far, this has cost us, I'm trying to think. I think the only thing I had to do was I did pay a fee to Game Maker so that I could do builds, which was like $90 for a year or something like that. I sent a question in the Discord. Okay, let's get to Discord and see what that question is. Question. Apologies in advance, as I'm not quite sure how to word this question. Okay. I have a question in regards to the beginning of making a game. I had been trying to write down a story for days and have made virtually no progress and have started making prototypes on the first level in hopes that it sparks inspiration. I feel stuck and like I have a lack of clarity. Okay. If you didn't watch our first episodes back when we first started this, is because that was literally the question that was asked that started all this. And let me pull this up here. Let me make sure I have the right window. Hopefully everything's still here. It is. So what we did, let me go back over here and pull this window up. What we did to answer your question, Maker, was we took and made a board on Miro. And see if I can get it, if it's going to come up right. Yes. We made this board on Miro and we literally just took Post-it notes and started over here where this is literally what we started with. We have a main character. Here's the things the main character can do. Here we have a grandfather, which is his guardian and the good guy. And then we have his grandfather's twin brother, who's the bad guy. This is literally where we started. We just started throwing things up on this board. So we said, okay, well, the green part, this is our forest. So, because grandpa and the kid live in a forest. And we have grandpa's house, we have grandpa's training center, and then we have grandpa's clinic. We just started throwing ideas up on here. Literally just, in fact, there's some writings here of just like notes here and there. You know, bad things to do in the forest, steal, join the bandits, blah, 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 blah. You know, and we just started throwing things up on the board. And anytime we came up with an idea, and I got this idea from when of doing this, but from when I was, when I first left Blizzard in 2014. And every day I was not haunted, but every day things about Blizzard kept coming up in my head and kept stopping me from doing things. So I started writing them down on, I haven't gone around to it yet. Okay, no worries. Was it? Okay. So I started throwing things up on a board, literally the wall in my house, where I've had Post-it notes, and I've showed this before. As I'm a Post-it note freak, so I always have Post-it notes somewhere, different colors, all that kind of stuff, and every color meant something different. So I'd originally, and we'll see if we can. Let's see, let's go to outline. So I originally, these are all the Post-it notes that I put on my wall. And what I did was every time I thought of something having to do with Blizzard, because I wasn't there anymore, and I spent 23 years of my life there, so things kept coming up. And as I used to say, is you have to go through a 12-step program when you leave a company like Blizzard, because it pretty much takes over your whole life. So I was putting all these ideas up on a wall in my house, thousands of hundreds of post-it notes, and each one represented something. So blue ones for my early years, orange ones for personal stuff, corporation stuff in pink, events in green, jokes or something funny in yellow or orange, and then games that we released, and then people. And as I put all this stuff up on the wall, one day I sat there and the wall was just a mess. It was an absolute mess of stuff. And I went, okay. And I sat down one day and I started breaking it up into years. So my first breakdown was just that. It was like, okay, what's going on in these years? Because it's a lot of time. From the time I was born till 2014 when I left Blizzard. So, and then here's the higher ones here. And then basically ended up with a really good outline for a book as I started breaking it down. Because once I broke it down into years, then I broke it down into chapters and things like that. But yeah, so the idea of the post-it wall allowed me to empty my head of all this stuff, which was great. So we took that then and said, okay, let's do that with a game. If we're going to let's just throw every idea in the world up here for the game. And that's what we did. So this, like, the red area is our village. The black area is our mines, because Grandpa's brother owns the mines in the local village. But it's literally anything, any time of day that we thought of got put on this board. It's like, okay, well, we need this and we need that. It doesn't all have to connect yet. It doesn't have to do anything. It's just like, here are all of our ideas. Here's the basic layout of what things are going to happen. Here's our basic layouts for maps for the mine. And we came up with an idea of using D&D dungeon map generators to generate our mine maps as placeholders until we have time to sit down and actually design those. Oh wow, I didn't realize we were in ads. Sorry guys. Much of these streams are doing a pirate jam have been giving me a kick in the rear. Oh cool. Busy. Have fun doing the good things. Yeah. Space Cadet to Murphy. Thank you very much for the sub. That's awesome. I still have to finish fixing that. I will get it. It will get there. Yeah, so you get the basic idea. Find a place where you can put things up and just keep throwing ideas up. It doesn't matter that it doesn't make sense yet. It matters that you're pulling everything that your subconscious is coming up with and putting it somewhere for you to use as ammunition later for when you start actually putting things together. And it also, in regards to, okay, I'm blocked, go for a walk, get outside, go do something else, go do something that has nothing to do with it. And that will help unblock you and free you up to do other things. So, yep. Oh, ads. Let us close this window. Oop. So we had taken that and turned it into a spreadsheet. See if I can pull the spreadsheet up here. Oh, design data. Okay. So I had converted all of that to a spreadsheet so that we could break it down a little bit more. So once we got all of our base ideas out and on the board, then we started breaking them down into different things in a spreadsheet. So let me pull this to where it's, oh yeah, I want that down there up here too. So now we know that, still want that on the screen. Sorry, I'm resizing stuff here so it makes a little bit more sense. So now we can go, okay, for our game, here's our base game. Here's our character. Here's our control system, what we're going to use for controls. This is the music that we want to get eventually. These are the sound effects we want to get. These are the different modes that we're going to have. This is also, we want to do a live journal thing inside the game so that you can keep notes and stuff like that when you're playing. And then based on difficulty level, how much information is already in that journal for you to play, and how much you have to go out and find yourself. And then we were looking at other things to put it in. And then for our characters, we have character breakdowns that we started working on. But character breakdowns, and all this is based on the spreadsheet that we put together, not the spreadsheet, the Miro board that we put together. We also started writing down story points and stuff like that. But this is all without, we haven't picked a genre really yet. We haven't picked a place yet, like what is it, medieval? Is it space? Is it whatever? We haven't picked any of that yet. This is just like, here's all of our base stuff. And then those things are going to add to it when we get there. So we also talked about what kind of openings we would have at the beginning. We started breaking down all the ideas into a spreadsheet so we can look at them in this way. Also, we talked about death screens and stuff like that, and we talked about skill points and notes and stuff like that. And then we also talked about him getting power-ups from the family crypt, where he goes and his ancestors talk to him and give him power-ups and special abilities and stuff like that. And then we started breaking down the village, who's there, what they do, how they can help, bad things you can do in town, all that kind of stuff. Oh, you're very welcome. I hope it's helping. I hope this is helping a little bit. I mean, it does sound overwhelming, but just go throw things on a board first. Just throw all your ideas on a board somewhere. It can be digital. It could be, like I said, grab a pack of these. They're cheap. Pick a wall in your house, and every time you have an idea, throw it on a Post-it note, throw it up on the wall. You don't even have to think it all the way through. Just throw it on a Post-it note, put any notes about it on that one Post-it note, put it on the wall. Keep breaking it down, and then go to the next thing and go to the next thing. My thing for me personally, and all this stuff here is really great. But for me personally, I want to be able to move around a world, which is going to spark more ideas for me. So at this point, because we have a lot of stuff in here, even if we just put all this stuff in there and we made basically everything that the game does is just about the stuff we've come up with. There is a game there, but is it the game that we want to make and that we want to play? We don't know yet. I want to see it. I want to see it. Show me. I'm that kind of person. Make It game is a sprint, not a marathon. You got a few milestones along the way. Just be prepared for the long haul. Yeah, it is. It is a marathon, not a sprint. I think you got that backwards, Sparta. Just getting those ideas out there for you to see makes the process 10 times easier. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. Good ideas, bad ideas, doesn't matter. Any idea that you come up with or that your team comes up with, put it on the wall. All of it. Even the ones that you think are terrible, put them on the wall. Because some of the terrible things can be that weird little niche in the game that people remember forever. No worries at all. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Very good. I've had a question that's been bothering me for years, and would you mind giving me your thoughts on it? How do you communicate something that's very unique to you and communicate it to the masses without it losing its unique spark? Okay. Here is, all I can tell you is my history and what things I did when people didn't understand, when I was trying to get them to see a good idea, or see what I thought was a good idea. They have every right not to believe it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong. But there were a lot of things in my history where I'm like, no, wait, that's a good idea. We should do this. Let me see if I can find, I know that I have, oh, do I have them in this here though? Let me see. If I did, I probably would have put them in photos. So let's see if it's in here. Ah, yes. Okay. So there was a thing that I did at Blizzard where we had an empty meeting room. This was back when we were doing Warcraft 3. We had an empty meeting room that was never used, and it was a good sized room. Oh, thanks, Sparta. Yes, it is. Ha. But I have some pictures now. Ha ha. Because I went back and found some. Yes, I did. So, meh. Nah on you. So what I did was I literally came in the middle of the night. First I said, okay, we need X. And nobody got it. There was nobody in there going, yes, that's a great idea. I said, we need a theater. We need a presentation room so that we can show things off, and so what I did was I came in the middle of the night, and I'm actually trying to pull the images up here, and because I want to be able to show you guys this, because a lot of people go, there's no way you did that. And I'm like, well, yeah, kind of there is. Yep. So let's do this. Open this and go to let's add some images. Let's add all these. Okay, so what I did was I came in the middle of the night and I built risers and for a theater so that you could have things, and brought all the materials in, built all the stuff, carpeted it, of course, went and stole couches from all over the building, and just built it. And I built this whole theater, or presentation room as it was called at the time. And when Mike came to look at the Warcraft 3 cinematics, we went into Matt's office to look at the cinematics and do the run through for them. And we said, well, why don't we do it in the meeting room? Knowing that this whole thing had been done. There were red curtains up at that point. I don't have pictures of that part, but red curtains were up. There was a projector in there. We borrowed a 5.1 system. We didn't have a screen, so I used a piece of canvas and just gessoed it to make the screen, and yeah, let me turn it back on. Yeah, I just went in and brought saws in and bought 2x4s and built it. So yeah, I'm kind of a weirdo. So we opened the door and we walked in. I also took the ceiling tiles off and painted them black so that the white ceiling tiles weren't a problem. But we brought Mike in, and Mike looked at me. He goes, "I told you not to do this." And I go, "Yes, you did. I apologize. It's already set up so you can watch the cinematics for Warcraft 3. So let's watch them." So we sat down, and he sat in the front, and we sat a row back and played through all the cinematics in this room. And the lights came up, and he sat there quietly for a while. And I'm sitting in the back going, "Oh my God, he's going to fire me. He's going to be pissed, because he's just kind of sitting there, not looking at us, turn around and look at us." And he turned around finally, and he goes, "Okay, I like this. What do you need?" And he bought us a real screen, and he bought us a real projector and real sound system for it and all that stuff. And we moved on to campus. Paul Sams called me and said, "Okay, we're going to build a theater. How many people do you want to be able to fit in it?" I go, "Can we get like 200 people in it?" He goes, "Well, let me see." And he came back. He goes, "We can do about 85. I go, "Good enough." And so that's how Blizzard got its presentation room theater. And it was because I explained the concept. Nobody understood it or thought it was going to be a good idea. And then I just went and did it. Not the first time I'd done something like that, nor the last, but sometimes showing is better than just, I'm going to try to explain this forever and you're never going to get it. But if I go and do it, another example of that is the machinima stuff for Warcraft in the first place. Is I had an idea, and this is around the same time, is I got in an argument with Matt Samia, because I'm like, well, we should start exploring the idea of using in-game characters, in-game engines to start making trailers and stuff like that for the games. Also start making in-game pieces of movie pieces. And we got in a big fight about it and all that stuff. And I said, look, video cards are getting better. All this stuff's getting better. We're not always going to be able to take the time to pre-render everything. And that got us into a pretty good fight. So I ended up leaving the cinematics team to start the DVD team. And while I was on the DVD team, which at that time consisted of me, I came up with this idea, and they had got me my first employee, which was Brandon. And I put together the Flying Mounts trailer where we invented Windy Breezy, which was from the Nomergon News. We invented all those things because I kept explaining what I had in mind, but nobody could make the jump for the concept. So we invented all this stuff. We made a trailer for the Flying Mouse. Instead of saying Flying Mouse are now available in World of Warcraft, that kind of thing, we had Windy Breezy, the in-game reporter from the Nomergon News, talk about flying mounts from the perspective of somebody that lives in the game. And so that led to Mike and them coming back to me and saying, okay, hire a team to do this. I'm like, okay. So that's how we built the Machinima team. And we released, with the Machinima team, we expanded on Nomergon News, and we had Barley Frothbeard and a bunch of other. We started creating characters in-game where the in-game characters were telling the stories of what was going on in the game, as opposed to a player's perspective, but as a living game. Thank you for your answer. My question was thought for a movie director, Wes Anderson, but I lost my chance to ask it. Yeah, I think Dwayne Stennett went to work with Wes Anderson, if I remember correctly. I may be wrong, but I had no idea that's how Machinima started. That's how Machinima started at Blizzard. Machinima was already a thing in the outside world. In fact, one of the people I hired was Taryn Gregory, who won Best Machinima at BlizzCon that year. And then another one was Tristan Pope, who also was doing Machinima and stuff like that. So I was able to get a team built specifically for doing Machinima, which led to the Wrathgate piece that's inside the game itself, which I thought was awesome. But we did, I think we did 56 trailers in the Machinima style. And of those, on the Blizzard side alone, the downloads at the time were like 720 million downloads of those 56 trailers over the lifetime of those trailers when we were keeping count for the 3 years. Yeah. Yeah, there was Machinima out in the real world. We just weren't using it at Blizzard. Yeah. And then we did things like I did the Flying Mouse trailer. Brandon did the Dark Moon Fair trailer. So, yeah, those were the first two, technically the first two Machinima pieces. Then there was the Naxxramas piece, which I really like the Naxxramas piece. So, but that was done after Tristan and Taryn and Joanna and Jenny and them had started with the team. So yeah, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. I hope to one day make it so he reads the question as it means a lot to me. One day, I hope either way. You mean Wes? You mean Wes? Or did I miss a question somewhere? Wes Anderson? Yeah. Well, I hope so. Write him and ask him. That's what I always do. I mean, that's the thing about everybody goes, "Oh, I could never do that." No, you can. Just do it. Another thing is, and I'll use another example of someone saying something and it being misinterpreted by people because they weren't clear, and that's the color blue story. Is I remember once we were in a meeting and the Blizzard logo was up on screen, and I remember Mike going, just offhandedly going, "Is that the right color blue?" And for the Blizzard logo, and it was just the projector was out of kilter, but the artist went back and made like 50 different versions of the Blizzard logo with different color blues because they thought that they had the wrong blue. And Mike, then they brought it to Mike, and Mike goes, "I was just asking if the screen was right," So you got to be careful. But you can also, I could sit and describe the color blue to you all day today, but I will never know if it's the same color blue that you see in your head because I don't have the experiences you have. I don't have the perceptions that you have. I could describe blue all day long, and you could be thinking of a light blue, and it could be a dark blue that I'm thinking of. So getting your concepts into somebody else's head is the most difficult thing. So I'm more of a, okay, let me show you, because my describing it to you ain't working, but I can show you. So yeah. The building of this stuff, this was actually fun because I came in from midnight till 4 a.m. to build this and had to make it solid enough that really heavy game people could sit on it without it collapsing. So, and carpeted it and did all that stuff. You got to remember, I was a plumber before this. My job was to fix things, so I fixed them. I don't know who had to take it apart. I did not. Yeah, these were as I was building it. So me taking pictures of work as I'm doing it. Fantasy and sci-fi are good genres since they often metaphors of setting the vehicle, converting concepts. Okay. I never saw these. Yeah. They existed. Well, he who has no life built it before he was he who has no life. Yep. Plus, there's a certain satisfaction of putting something like this together and having people go, "Oh my God, this is awesome." I've been very lucky that I've had quite a few moments like that in my career. Can you come over and build me a shed? I could, but it's a long flight. No, it took me in secret. It took me 4 nights to build the whole thing, and that includes getting the wiring in and the projectors in and the wiring for the sound system. Also pulling the acoustic tiles off the ceiling and painting them black and all that kind of stuff. I might have a picture somewhere of the finished, but I couldn't find it when I was going through old photos. Because number one, it was someone asked, how do you make something like that secret for 4 nights? It's very easy, actually. Because it was a room nobody ever went into, And everything that I did, I cleaned up. Everything I did outside in the main area, I cleaned up every day. Cleaned up before everybody came to work. And I worked from midnight till 4 in the morning putting it all together. So yes, it was very easy to hide. Yeah, because I'm just like, oh, Jerry Ray's doing something crazy in the other room, whatever. But there were a couple times when people would come over and go, why am I hearing a saw from the other side? Because I always made sure I worked when nobody from the cinematics team was around. This was the birth of Blizzard's very first theater for showing cinematics and things to each other. Oh, Thor doesn't even come close to me. I can work rings around Thor, and it's been as I've gotten older, I have cut back quite a bit. I do not forge ahead as much as I used to, but by the same token, it's like, well, let's just do it. That's usually my answer to everything. So, well, why? Well, if it fails, it fails. At least we tried, right? So, yep. Give me a moment. I will be right. I know it's silly, but I do like that joke. Yes, it is. Okay, boop, 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 boop. Pterodactyl alert. That is correct. Because the P is silent. Yeah, for those of you that are new, in fact, this is something that I actually introduced today, is we had a joke last week about the P being silent in pterodactyl. And I turned the audio off so that I can run to the bathroom. So I created this thing where it's pterodactyls, and those that were here know that, oh, I have to take a bio break. So, but it was a nice little touch. I thought it was funny. Makes me laugh. And the reason the P is silent is because I turned the microphone off. Because in the early early shows, I forgot to. I think a couple times, not every time, but I forgot to, and it was funny. Sparta, that is handled both before and or after. That is not handled during the show. But to sum up what I'm talking about in regards to all this stuff that we just went through, is game development isn't just about developing the game. It's also about the environment that you're creating for that game, for the environment you're creating for yourselves while making that game. And I think it's important to think about that, because people in happy environments make better games. People who are listened to make better games. People who feel like they're heard and that their concepts and their ideas are heard make better games. And the trust between everybody makes better games. You know, I'm a firm believer in keeping teams small so that communication doesn't break down. We learned that anything over 24, I think is 24, 25 is the magic number. Anything over 50, you will never know if everybody has all the information or not. So yeah, it's very important to think about those things. It's very important to keep the environment for your people in line with what it is you're trying to do. And did I go off the correct page? I think I'm still good. Okay, yeah, we're still good. All right. Sorry, I thought I accidentally hit a button. Yeah, smaller is better. Smaller is better from a communication standpoint. Also, if someone isn't on board with the idea you're working on, you find out very quickly when it's a smaller team. You know, if it's a bigger team, the odds of somebody not liking the direction the team is going not only becomes more damaging, it becomes silent. And that damage is slowly dealt out over time as they disagree in smaller groups to the bigger picture that's going on. So you got to be very careful with that kind of thing. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that we can actually just start working on. In fact, we probably can. If I go back to Game Maker, what I think the next step we're going to do is, let me open Game Maker, is we're going to start in our village and start building this out in the new system. Even though it's not completely finished, it's going to be an easy thing to take apart later. But I think we can start building this out and making it more to scale. Because, like, as we look at this, if we drop, if I drop the character in, where's our little dot? Here's our dot. Oh, I think we're in the wrong. Let's go up here. Go to instance. That we should be able to drop them now. See, the scale's kind of off. So this is our character, and he's a 16 by 16, but he's itty bitty bitty-ish. So yeah. So, which is the same size as the character in our game capture. Those two are the same size. So you can see that the scale in ours is pretty far off. So if we go back, this scale is immense. And that map is massive. And more than likely we'll have memory problems and things like that. So I'm going to go back, and we already started at one point. See if I can pull it back up here. We started making these changes already into some of it. God, this thing keeps moving. Stop moving. So yeah, so if we start going into the game dev and go back to this, which we started already, but I don't think it'll let me walk past it. God, I went to my game controller again. That's funny. So we started putting things up, and here's our butcher. You know, our signage is all working, which is cool. There's still some stuff that, we can't get around it. I got to be careful, because if I step over there, I got past, good. So if we start building the town out this way and doing that, then we have this whole area down here we could actually build the town in, which will be more to scale with what our character is and stuff like that. So that's actually kind of cool. Let's see if we can sneak back in. What I'm trying to avoid is that, which takes us to this other little level thing. He's back. He's going to chase us. Okay. But yeah, so we'll start building the town out in there. If you notice, the hat's gone because the hat is on the head of the guy that sent us on the quest to go get the hat. So he should be with hat. Yes, he is with hat. But our talking system's in, all that stuff. So we can actually start going to the point where we're doing, for the purpose of this analogy, we're going to take the game design as an art form. As an art form, the artwork and the artist produces is most often a reflection of his own mind and world. So you're absolutely right that your environment will translate to your work. Yes. If you do something with joy, it will be better experienced. Yes. And as I used to say, or I have said in the past, not used to say, but I did say, I think last week, I have found that artwork that has been created by happy artists, for some reason, there's a visceral connection to that emotion when they made it. And artwork that was created by angry artists, there's a visceral connection to that emotion that they make too. And people can sometimes not explain why they like or don't like a piece of art based on what emotion. My theory is based on what emotion the artist was feeling at the time of creation. If you have 48 people, does a 24 thing still count? I think it does. If it's two teams, great. If it's one team, you're going to start having breakdown of communication. That's why really, really good producers who are capable of bridging those communication gaps are extremely important when your teams start getting bigger. Savvy, what's up? Oh, Peon Farmer, we don't discuss that kind of thing here. We don't discuss politics here. If you want to discuss that, please go somewhere else. But politics and religion are something that we do not talk about. Thank you very much for pointing that out, guys. Okay, boop, boop. Okay, let's close that. We're going to open up where we're at, which is 34. Do you want to save that? No, we're not going to save that. Okay. So as I was saying, we've started building our village in this. Oh, see, that worked perfectly. What just happened there worked perfectly. That was awesome. I looked up, I saw the warning sign, and then dealt with it. Awesome. Not our concern. Oh, I'm supposed to be hitting this button over here. Okay, Miker. Okay, so we started to build out our town in this new format, and then got distracted because I'm me, you know. But yes, the new emote works. I'm really happy about that. See, that was awesome. Worked exactly as I wanted it to. Thank you, Savvy, for pointing that out. That's awesome. And that's what I want you guys to do. I mean, if a situation comes up like that where someone throws something out there that we have made it very clear that we're not going to talk about, then do that. Throw the stop sign up, and I will address it immediately. Okay, so looking at our old town, we now have. Let's see, we can throw a sign up. See, this is the cool part about this tutorial that I really like is now I can do something like this where I can go, okay, here is, let's see, where is our sign? It's an entity, I believe. Yes, here's our sign. Well, we can throw a sign up here and then immediately open it up and say, okay, this sign is, go to the variables and say, okay, boop, boop, boop. I think it goes here. Let me look at the one of the other signs, and it can show me exactly where it will go. We look at the variables. We want to take that, copy that. So we need to do, the script is a new text box, and then the sign is that. So here we go back to this one. We just basically go, okay, here's our sign. We'll say this is the candles. We'll say that's the candle shop, and then this will be, change this to new text box. I believe that's what the other one said. And then in tomorrow's build, when we show it, that will say candles. That sign will say candles. So we can start setting up our towns and all that stuff with the actual signs that could be used in the game at the same time. So now this one says candles. So, but the way it's set up, all that code's already set up in the background. So all you really need to do is just drop the sign, put in what script you want it to run when it displays the text. Sorry, my back itches. When it displays the text, and you're done. Next sign. John Lego 100. Thank you for the follow. The code is the Game Maker code. It is all, as I go through the tutorials, it's all the scripts and stuff are down here. Or not, that's sprites. We went scripts. I keep doing that. So all of our scripts are down here. Now, one of the things that I did in the general stuff this week was start to put them together as player functions. So like now, his slash, spin, calculate, all that stuff when the enemies are going and all that stuff. So if I go back to the game itself, let's see if I can pull it up here, and I let the guy kill me, there's also, we have death now, all that stuff in the actual game. So if I go to, sorry, I have to use my keyboard. If I go over where our monster is, which is over on this other screen, and let him kill me, we have death animations and all that stuff. So now, because they're already built into the code, we just have to add them to add our new monsters to that, and then we have our death scenes. And then bloop, he's dead. And now you've dead and started over. So all that stuff's already all built in now, because that's what the tutorials are teaching us. That many years of experience. How do you deal with imposter syndrome? You don't. It's something that's there. It's always going to be there. To this day, I still have it, always will have it, and I think all of us do. You know, the best way to deal with imposter syndrome is to do the job. Learn everything you can about it, and then learn all the jobs around it. You know, that's how I did it. If I didn't know something, or if I worried about not knowing something, I went out and found out about it and learned it. You know, and that's what you have to do. But imposter syndrome will always be there. I have seen some of the biggest names in the industry have that after they've created some of the best things that have ever been made. You will always have that. Met what language? I don't know. I don't know what language Game Maker Studio uses. It's not Python, but it's Python-ish. It's not C, but it's C-ish. It's not Java, but it's Java-ish. So I don't really know. I haven't done my research on that, so I don't know. You know? But it's cool that we're learning it. So like I said, if we go back to, this is the workspace. Let me get the game out of the way. So, but this is the workspace. And like I said, let's open this. So let's open one of these. So it looks a little bit like C, but it also has some stuff that looks like Java. And there's also some formatting that's similar to Python. So I don't know what it actually is, but I do like the new structure better than the old structure, which is the way this is set up, where everything for that particular thing is in a function. So like in this particular case, we have him being hurt in a function with slashing and spinning and calculating attacks and stuff like that. But there's a lot of those kind of things that are just really nice to have all in one place. This was one of the new version bugs that I was trying to figure out, and I finally found something that helped me figure it out. But one thing I like about Sarah's tutorials is that it is very heavy on keeping comments and stuff and things like that, so that you can go back later and remember what it was you were doing at that time. Okay, so it's its own language called GML is what they're saying. So game maker language. So good for them. It's a little bit odd because I was trying to figure out the structure of it, but it's actually pretty nicely done. Let's see. Where is the dialogue that we did for? There's a script for the dialogue. New text box. This is what throws up the box for when we're doing signs and stuff like that. So I'm looking for hurt player, enemy, so destroy. Enemy wait. I have to make an enemy directory and drop it in there. Drop items. Now this is what drops all the items, like when we're hitting the plants and things are falling out. That's that. Liftables. Nope. Quests. Okay, here's where I put it. So the dialogue responses are kind of set up this way, which I actually kind of like. Although, when it comes to the point where we have to think about maybe translating the game, I'm hoping that there's a way to extract all the things out. Sin, thank you very much for the follow. So I'm hoping that there's a cleaner part of this, but the responses that we get in game, in fact, let me pull them. So this is what's set up for the cat. So these are his base responses, and we overwrote those with this, which is the this is the quest for the cat has made for you to go find his hat. Let me see if I can make this a little bit better here. That one? No. That one? No. This one? Yeah. So here it is where we come up and it says, wow, you felt like if you were to go find the hat before he asked you to get it, this is how you would set up for, wow, you found my hat without me even asking you to. You are a true hero indeed. And then the hat quest is marked as done. But if you come up and and you don't have the hat, he just does the whole hello there, but you can see the structure. So this is the first case. First case is if you have the hat or if you don't have the hat. If you don't have the hat, it's hello there. You look like a brave adventurer, what with your cape and all. Could you go and find my missing hat? And you can say, of course, or you can say, this is beneath me. If you say, of course, then he goes, okay. He tells you to go find the hat. And then you go find the hat. And then he gives you clues, So if you come back and you don't have the hat and talk to him again, he'll say, I think I left my hat in the scary cave to the northeast. You might need items to get there. So, yeah. But if you come back with the hat, it's like, you found my hat. Cool. Yay. Thanks. Boo. And then if you've already found the hat and he has the hat on, then boom. Then the other code takes the hat and attaches it to him. And then there's a separate sprite that it replaces his sprite with a separate sprite that has the hat on. So there's all that dynamic is now in there and is working. So this up here was when we're hitting plants and stuff like that is can they drop coins and stuff like that, and how are we going to handle drops? So right now we just wrote all the code for drops. So like if we're in the game like we are here, and I go and like attack all these plants, some of them are going to drop coins, or it's a random number. So yeah, see, so those drop coins. And there's flashing that go with it and all that stuff. And there's the coin. Let's do one this way. Nope. But you can also set the frequency for that. And so there they are. Because I have it set up to where it drops 1, 2, or 3 coins, depending. And then you can pick it up. And today, later today, when I do the next tutorial, I think it puts the counter in for you to be able to collect those things and use them later. But we also have like things for like if you hit something, it actually gives a reaction now, which is good. So, and picking up and throwing things is just fun. And combat rolling is fun. But you can't combat roll while carrying something. And our collision is working again, which is good. So it shakes the camera. So, yay. And we're in zombie mode, so I really need to shut the hell up. Oh. I'm doing well. Thank you very much, Cole. The first time you enter the chat and click on type, the rules pop up. Yeah. I mean, if they're not going to follow the rules, they can go somewhere else. There are many people out there that will talk about the subjects that I've chosen that we would not talk about here. So I'm very happy for you to go and do that. Question. As someone with that many, okay, we talked about that. Yeah, I don't know what language it is, or it's GML is what they said is. I guess it's Game Maker language. Okay, that's not to me. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Coalescence. Yeah, I think the tutorials are back on track. Like I said, we're up to number. In fact, it's up here at the top. What I'm doing is I'm creating new versions of the game for each level that each tutorial that we finished. So I think we're at 34 is what this one is. Yeah, this one's 34. So can't argue that. Got a lot done this weekend. Yeah. I highly doubt anyone reads the rules even. Yeah, that's highly possible, but that's okay. We will remind them when it comes up, which is what we've done. So, yeah. Okay. The Lion Blood. Thank you very much for the follow. I'm still working on the thing here. It's still in testing room. Let me see if I was working on it. It's gonna happen. So I showed you guys a brief test of something I'm working on, which is this. No, not that. That's not what I'm working on. That's not it. It's this one. And it still does what I don't want it to do. Ah. This is silly at this point. Why did that change? There was no reason for that to change. Where did what I have up go? Okay, bump. No. Okay, and it's gone. I think it crashed with the other stuff. So yeah, we will get back to that later. But I'm going to make a more elaborate follow thing with the theme. And it's funny because I just thought of it. I want to make me more cartoony than I was before. I think that'll be fun. And then go from there. Yeah, I think that'll work. So we make me more cartoony. I can come up and then we can welcome the new people to the stream. And then we can use some of Savvy Otter's guys to run in from the bottom going, yay, jumping all around. That would be kind of fun. Did I just see an Odin wearing a Thor Avengers armor for half a second? Yes, you did. It's something that it's a mock-up that I'm doing for something that when someone comes in and follows us or subs us, the writing that comes up is too small and I can't really see the name, and it's difficult sometimes. So my theory is that I would make a new screen for followers, and then I put myself on the Odin thing, on Odin's armor from Anthony Hopkins. I think it was Anthony Hopkins. Odin's armor with my face, which was just silly. It's absolutely hilariously silly. And it's mostly because I don't, some of the pop-ups that come up that tell you this is happening and blah, 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 blah. I just completely am put aside by it because it's just, in fact, let me see if I can this up. Let's take view, window, view, extras. Nope. So I started building this. Let's see if we can get this on the screen. Let's go side. Nope, nope, nope. We're going away from that. That's a slideshow. We can't do it in that. Let's go here. Nope, that's not going to do it either. Window capture. That will do it. I think Photoshop. So I started building this guy, which is just silly. Let me see if we can put him up. He is behind the Game Maker Studio. There he is. So like I said, very silly. But if we take all the effects off of it, because I was affecting the hell out of it, let's turn them all off. So, yeah. Oh, there's still some on there somewhere. Nope, it says they're all off, but I don't think it is. So I was trying to make it look more cartoony, but it's not flattening out the way I want it to. So turn all these things back on. Yep. You can see smoothing out. So yeah, more gray, more that kind of thing. So I started looking at this, but it's silly. And I don't like the way the shoulders are turned because it's gonna need a lot of work. Reminds me of Thor's artwork, does it? I'm assuming none of the built-in Photoshop filters. For some reason, and I think it, for some reason, the filters are not actually coming up, which is, so if I try to go to filters over here. For some reason, the filter gallery isn't coming up on my Photoshop anymore, and I don't know why. So I need to figure that one out, because with those, I can make it more line arty and stuff like that, and I don't have that on this machine, but I think I do on my other machine. So I'll pull this over into my other machine and fix it probably later. But I do want the whole, I do have lines and stuff like that I'm going to put in there for very Odin basically saying, welcome to Valhalla and blah, 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 blah. So, and then I'll take, like I said, in that After Effects file, I'll put the little Vikings too, bobbing up and down. That would be kind of fun. Welcome. You have too small bust for the scale of the head. No, it's supposed to be cartoony. So, yeah. Back scratcher, yes. I have a back scratcher because sitting for long periods of time makes my back itch. I just thought it was silly. Silly is more important than anything else, isn't it? But it's based on, to your point, it's based on this photo here, which I thought was hilarious. Although I'm not going to give myself a patch. Got enough issues. But as we go back, and this is literally me sitting here, and I took a picture of myself with my phone And then that's the background for this. And I like how the hair turned out, because the hair is actually quite, the way it cartooned up the hair, I actually really like. It looks really cool. Almost looks like worms. But the face itself is still a little, I don't know, not quite there yet. We'll get there. But yeah, the texture on that hair is just really, really cool to me. Very cartoony, very, very hand-drawn looking. My natural hair is amazing. It is my hair, just without, if you turn off all the effects, it really is my hair. I must have a layer on somewhere that I'm not seeing. But here was my first attempt where I was trying to make him kind of, it doesn't work. Oh, that's what it is. It's the liquefy stuff is what I can't turn off because I liquefied it. Forgot about that. Ah, there's the original. That's what the original picture looked like. And you can see where the hair is awesome. The rest of it still needs work, but the hair is awesome. Both the beard hair and the other. I just like it. It's good to me. More cartoony. I just like the texture, the way it did the texture of the hair. That's just silly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could make the glasses gold, but knows. It's a good start. How about that? That's the best way to put it. It is a good start. It is not quite finished, but it is a good start. I must have closed that window. Nope. I did. I closed that window. We want this one open. Okay. Better than I could ever hope for. Well, you go and you learn. Like the point is earlier is for the imposter syndrome. Anything that you feel like you don't know, it's very simple to go out and learn it. Wicked HS. Thank you very much for the sub. That's awesome. That is a 4-month sub. Thank you very much, Wicked HS. So yeah, so hopefully once we get to, as I was saying, is once I get to 51, and like I said, I'm at 34 right now. Once I get to 51, then we will start seriously building what it is that we put together in the Miro. And we'll start trying things out and doing different things and adding dialogue and doing that kind of stuff and just basically building it from the ground up. Oh, I thought didn't I say thank you to Wicked? Yeah, Wicked HS. Thank you very much. Welcome to the land of clouds and trees. Yeah, there is one that you can use to get the black outline. Sorry. I'm assuming none of the built-in Photoshop filters can make it cartoonier. They can, but for some reason on this machine, the filter gallery is not working in Photoshop. I do not know why. Because I just switched all of my stuff over to this machine so that I could do stuff in After Effects and Photoshop to make animated emojis and stuff like that. And for some reason, in under filters, the filter gallery is grayed out. They have natural filters, but those don't do it right because everything is set. I think I can just bring it over into my other machine. And Mist, thank you very much for the sub. I can't see for how long it was, so sorry. I will look over here. Misty, sub for added tier 1. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Oh wow, we're 1 away from subbed. Oni Demon 500 just subbed. Thank you very much. That is a tier 1 for 6 months. Thank you very much. That is awesome. I'm getting the hang of seeing where stuff is. Okay. Miss, thank you very much for the 42. Does that say 42? 1 to go. No, 42 is the answer. It will always be the answer. Screw making names. Just subbed. Thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. That is fantastic. That puts us at our goal. We have reached our goal of 100 subs. And it took us, oh God, how long did it take us? It took us a couple weeks. That's pretty good. 2 subs, 100 subs. Okay, where are we at? We have 13 minutes back left on this section. It is really odd to look to my left, because I'm over here talking to you guys over here, and I look to my left, and this is what I see. See if it'll come up. It didn't come up. Well, damn. Where'd I put it? No. Grumpy Otter gifted 10 subs. Wow. Thank you very much. That is very awesome of you, Grumpy Otter. Thank you very much. Wow. That is awesome. Where did my window go? It says I look to the left. Okay, I guess I lost it. I guess I lost the window. What's this one? That one's nothing too. Window capture, that one? Okay, yeah. Apparently I've lost all open windows. That's not good. No, that one's right. Why didn't it come up? So I'm talking to you. I look to my left and I see nothing. It's there. It says it's there. Yet it's not showing up. Okay, yep, not working. Unless, I know, so, okay, so talking to you, blah, 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 blah. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for everything. Really, really great. And I look to my left, and what do I see? Ah! I'm staring at myself. It's really odd to look over to your own face staring at you with that look. Just saying. If you've got nothing left on the left, then that must mean everything is right on the right. You would think so. Oh, headphones make my ears itch. Level 2 hype train. Awesome. That is cool. Oh, we're level 4. Is that new for us? Is that a new high for us? Just another chapter. Thank you very much for the 3-month sub. Level 4 hype train. I think our highest is 5, isn't it? I'm not sure. I don't watch that, and I miss them most of the time. He's got the you know what you did look. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? You know what you did, and you better go back and clean it up. I think that is completely where he's going with that one. You know, Miss, thank you very much again for more bits. More bits? Thank you. Thank you for the 20 bits. Oh, that is awesome. 2 minutes left on level 4. Okay. Okay, well, I think it's going to give us a gift thing. Okay. That's the you didn't flush the toilet. No, I always flush the toilet. We're not even playing that game. Oh, hype train. Unlock reactions. So close, frantic. Thank you very much for the 100, or where is it? Wow. It's just pouring in now. I need no name. Thank you very much for the 140s. Frantic, thank you very much. It doesn't tell me how many, so I can't read it, but oh, Daddy Drunky, thank you very much for the 500. Wow, we're on a roll today. Our hype train has been completed. Level 4 complete. Miss, thank you very much for the subs, the gifted subs. What is this? Okay, some gift thing. Okay, gifted subs, thank you. Where is it? Misrat, thank you very much for the gifted subs. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with it. You guys are Blizzard Mushroom time. Thank you very much for the 100 bits. Wow, we've made it to level 5. Awesome. Okay. I'm getting distracted by that because it doesn't usually get that high. But that's awesome. I really appreciate it, guys. That is going to make things a little bit better. All right, so let me get me off this thing. Got to close my face. Close your face. So yeah, so the way the structure setup actually works really, really well for adding new things as we're going along. So it's really, to me, very cool, you know, and it also just structuring of the scripts and things like that. And then now the new way to turn them into functions and have a single script with all the functions for a specific character. So like these are all the functions for our main character and things like that. It just works out better. And then I think we can do the same thing eventually with the quests, whereas we can take, say, this, which is the whole hat quest log thing, and just have each quest have its own function. And then all we have to do is just pull dialogue responses and things like that. So we can build all that stuff into that other one. So that could be good. And then we also have our creatures. So these are all the functions for the slime. So in the little bulbous guy that was attacking us, you know, he has several things. So he can have a wander. This is him wandering around that just keeps him moving. So if we go back to the game, you can see that he, if we go over to where he is, it basically keeps track. Oh, well, we missed it. Okay. So if we stand off from him, his wandering is this here wandering. So if we go, let me turn the game back on, make it smaller. So game capture, let's take this little guy here and make it a little bit smaller. Oops, that's the wrong one. Z. We want the game. Please, if anybody ever talks to people that make OBS, please make it to where it's easier to grab the correct window and move that window. Okay. So if we look here, in the case of over here, let's see if we do that, that's going to, no, that will not cover it. So we have wander, which is what he's doing right now. He's wandering around, and this is the code that makes him kind of wander around in his space, which is actually kind of cool. And then you can build one of those for each of your characters. Then you have chase, which is if I go over to him, if I get too close to him, he will chase me down and he will not stop. So we'll get close and see he will follow me everywhere. And just saying, I'm going to kill you. Come back. Come back. I'm killing you. You know. And then he has his attacks, which is that's where he attacks me. And he knocks me back and I turn red for a second. You can also see that my life force is also going down up there. So let's go up this way. Come back down this way, and then now we can attack him back. But his death is in there too. So if we go back to the code, we have chase, we have his attack, which is what this is. And we can take this and modify it for each of our creatures. We can also say this is when he gets hurt. So he flashes and he falls back a little bit. That's all built into here. But we can use this as and then he dies, which is his little explosion that he does. So yeah, that could be some cool stuff. So we got 51% of level 5. Awesome. That is really, really cool. Let's open this thing. And then I can share this with you guys from the Choo Choo. So we have a balloon heart, it looks like. So woohoo. There you go. We get a floaty heart balloon. Thank you very much. That is awesome. Yep. So yeah, so that's what I'm learning. Because as you guys know, I was an artist and I was a director and things like that, but I wasn't a coder. So learning all this is, some people are probably coming in here going, yeah, well, that's the way it's done, blah, blah, blah. Great. But we're talking about learning new things. I am not a coder. The fact that even my tutorial that I'm running following Sarah actually works, which I'm just like, you have no idea how thrilled I am with the fact that it actually works. This is just amazing to me, because there were some bugs along the way to where, in fact, last week where I'm just like, I'm in a spot where I don't feel like I can move forward. So, got it working, with all the comments down below the tutorial, with what little knowledge I had, I was able to fix some of the bugs that were stopping us. And some of them, in all honesty, fix themselves, and I don't know how. So, as a codes, this makes me realize how I take what I already know for granted and how I don't even think about it. Yeah, cool. Yep. Highs. Oh, Sin76, thank you very much for the subs. You're subscribed to 2 months. Thank you. Awesome. It's a journey. Every day is a journey. If you treat it like a journey, it will be a journey. If anyone has questions for Your Joy, make sure, thank you. Make sure you put at him and he'll answer them. P.S. Once he gets started working, he spaces out a bit, but he'll script through. Yeah, I'll scroll through and find them. Yeah. This helps me because I also know very little code, so I feel better knowing other people are in the same. Yes. I mean, I've made it very clear. I do a little bit of Python coding because I went through tutorials and taught myself to do the things that I wanted to learn how to do, mostly for my Plex system and stuff like that. So I can build stuff in for TV shows I want to watch and stuff in Plex. But also I wrote a stock evaluation program in Python, and then followed a tutorial for making a blog website because I wanted to learn how to write websites, which I thought was a lot of fun. But this is all new to me. It's basically, I guess it's Game Maker's scripting system. It seems to be working pretty good. Well, Basic, I really enjoyed Basic. 10, blah, 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 blah. 20, blah, 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 blah. Because that's what I was playing with way back when I had my Commodore 64. So yeah, it looks like we're going to go into ads here soon. And when we come out of ads, we will be leaving this and going to our raid section for the day. But I highly suggest if you don't know any coding and you want to learn how to make these kind of games, I highly suggest taking this tutorial. And the link is there is a link for it in our Discord. And I'm really happy with the way it's turning out. That's coding. It stops working. And it turns out a single character. Yeah, I've had that where I've put in or left out a minus, or I've put in and left out an equals, or I've just misspelled something because I can't spell for crap. So yeah, Consistency is everything in programming. All your names have to be written the same way every time. Welcome to Az. JavaScript is a crime to whoever uses it. I don't understand. I mean, if it works, use it. If it doesn't, don't. I don't understand why people get so upset about Java. Maybe I'm just missing something. I don't know. Not possible. If it didn't work, would people use it? Maybe. Sorry, I'm looking for our logo. So that when we come out of Ad Zombie, we can, in fact, end the game dev sign. Now, I've realized halfway through today's show that apparently I did not put up Thursday or Friday's game dev sections up on YouTube. So I'll have to process those and put those up today, as well as today's. Semicolon. That would cost me so much time. Yeah. I do have a tendency sometimes to put a colon where I need a semicolon at the end of code. It's a meme. All scripting language do something bad and something good. They're basically tools on your tool belt. You don't use a screwdriver to hammer a nail. Well, I can't say I haven't, Sparta. I believe there's been more than one time when I could not find the hammer that I did use the handle of the screwdriver to drive a nail in. So I cannot agree with you on that particular statement. Ads are finished. Okay, my first approach. Okay, let's end this out and go to, make sure it's open here. That is not it. I could have swore I opened it already. I guess I opened something else. Okay, let's open our RAID board. Oh no, it was open because we put Daddy Dronky in there because he raided us today with one person. That was awesome. A single person raid. That was amazing. You fight with the army you have. I'm pretty sure I've used screwdrivers as to hammer. See, it's not just me. Ha. I mean, you technically can use a screwdriver to hit a nail. Yes. Well, ha. Okay, let's see if this is set up right. Board, yes it is, so we can go right there. We are now leaving this to go to